Have you ever noticed that not every bass attacks your lure the same way? Sometimes the strike is so hard it almost rips the rod out of your hands. Other times, all you feel is a tiny tap, or your line just starts moving. Understanding why this happens can completely change the way you fish. Bass are predators, but they're also efficient hunters. They don't waste energy unless they have to. Before attacking, they quickly judge how fast the prey is moving, how easy it will be to catch, and whether it's worth chasing. When your lure is moving slowly, like a jig, a Texas rig, or a soft plastic crawling across the bottom, the bass usually doesn't charge straight at it. Instead, it quietly follows from behind or underneath, getting into the perfect position. At the last second, it opens its mouth and flares its gills. This creates a powerful suction that pulls the lure into its mouth along with a rush of water. Many anglers expect a violent strike, but with this type of bite, you often feel nothing more than a light tick. Or suddenly your lure feels heavier than it should. That's why patience is important. If you set the hook the instant you feel that tiny tap, you might pull the lure away before the fish has fully turned with it. Giving the bass just a brief moment can often make the difference between a missed fish and a solid hookup. Now compare that to a fast-moving lure. Think about a spinnerbait, chatterbait, crankbait, or a swim bait burning through the water. Here, the bass doesn't have much time to inspect its target. Instead, instinct takes over. It accelerates, lines up its target, and crashes into the lure with incredible force. These are the explosive strikes every angler dreams about. The fish's own speed helps drive the hooks into its mouth, which is why these bites often feel so violent. This is also why your equipment matters. A rod with a softer tip is often better for moving lures because it gives the bass an extra split second to stay connected before you apply pressure. On the other hand, when you're fishing slower presentations with single hooks, a faster action rod helps transfer more power into the hook set. But there's another thing many anglers overlook. Bass don't always bite because they're hungry. Sometimes they're defending their territory. Sometimes they're curious. And sometimes your lure simply triggers a reaction before the fish even has time to think. That's why changing your retrieve speed, adding a pause, or giving the lure a quick twitch can suddenly turn a follower into a committed strike. The next time you're on the water, don't just focus on catching fish. Pay attention to how each bass attacks your lure. Was it a gentle pickup? A crushing hit? Did it follow first before committing? Every strike tells a story. The more you learn to read those stories, the better you'll understand bass behavior, and the more fish you'll catch.